us in the group, and then I'm going to ask somebody to see if they can hear us, because how many times do I go live and you can't hear me? So give me a second. All right. And did we go live in the group is the question. Or did I go live on my personal page? So we'll see, wait. Oh, comments. Wait for the comments to come in. Okay. I see us. We're live in the group. All right. Perfect. All right. So while we're waiting for people to join us, I got to tell you today, I went food shopping, but I went to a new grocery store that I've never, it's been open a couple months, but I've always seen it, driven past it and been like, all right, I'll get there. So I got there today and it was great. It was such an Italian, it was like a little piece of Italy right in the next town. It was great. So everything goes good. I have the baby with me and we're done. We're trying to get in the car and he throws a fit, an absolute temper tantrum fit. He throws himself down on the ground in between the two cars, turns into a wet noodle. So I can't even pick him up. Guys, let me know if you're coming on. I'm telling a story about the temper tantrum I dealt with today. Let me know if you can hear me or us. Okay. Because I don't want to start anything until I know I can be heard, because I have that every week. So this woman, this old Italian lady, pulls up behind my car. She stops and she goes, "Hi, sweetie." And I just look at her. I go, "Hi." And she goes, "Can I offer you a breadstick?" I'm like, "Me?" She goes, "No, the baby." I go, "You can offer him whatever you want at this, whatever." And she gets out of her car. She opens up the trunk and she pulls out a brand new package she just bought and she hands it to Jackson. And Jackson stops completely, takes the breadstick and starts munching on it. And her and I are talking. Turns out she had one daughter. She was 12 years old. She died of leukemia. Aww. This woman, I know, she changed my entire perspective. It went from total frustration, to complete appreciation. And you know what? I rarely give Jackson gluten, but at that point I was like, "Eat it. You're fine. Just eat it." Yeah, it was a nice little, it was nice. I asked her if she babysat. She said no. Nice. I was like, I wasn't. Yeah. All right. So people can hear us. Okay. Very good. Say? People. No. She said yes. Oh, for the babysitting? She said no. She's like, "No, I don't babysit." I'm like, "Oh, you should. You're great with kids." All right. Everyone can hear us. Now, listen, guys. I'm just talking to the audience right now real quick. We're using StreamYard because it's a real good platform for two people. But if you don't register or whatever, hit a button, I can only see Facebook user. So like Claire, I can see you, but other ones, I only see Facebook user, which is fine. But I just want you to know, if you want me to know it's you, just be like, "Hey guys, it's so-and-so," so that we know it's you. But if you don't want to, that's fine either. Oh, Claire, the stars aligned. You were meant to meet her, right? I think so, because we sat there talking for 20 minutes. All right, guys. So we're on with Chrissy. Chrissy has been in the group for years, and she messaged me a couple weeks ago, and she's like, "Hey, listen, did you ever, think about doing a highlight or a spotlight on a member about their testimony, just, from somebody who hasn't been a client of yours, just a member of Minding Your Soul and has healed some symptoms?" And I go, "Would you like to be the first one?" And she goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "How about next Wednesday?" So that's what this is. So Chrissy, thank you so much for putting that out there. I really appreciate it. And I'm really looking forward to this. Did we freeze? Oh, we lost Chrissy. Okay, we've lost Chrissy. That's all right. She'll come back in. And yeah, she'll come back in. So Chrissy is Chrissy Paul in Minding Your Soul. So if anything that we talk about today, if you want, further questions answered that we don't talk about today, you could always just look her up in the group and send her a message or do it here on this thread. The reason why we both thought it was so important is because you don't have to be a client. You don't have to sign up for coaching. Of course, that's there for you if you want it. But just listening to the information in this group, I wanted to make sure that I didn't gatekeep anything. I wanted to make sure that you had the access on how to heal your symptoms for free. Everything in this group is free. Of course, I'm going to charge you for my time for the coaching. But if you feel like you don't need that, well, then guess what? All the information is in this group. And if you listen to the videos and you understand, oh, here she is. She's connecting. And if you understand the process and how to go through it and you're like, I'm good on my own, then great, use the information and do it. And we're going to bring you more and more stories Let me add Chrissy back here. We're going to add more stories about people healing to build that library of evidence in your mind so that your brain no longer says, I can't heal. There's no cure for MS. You know what? There might not be a cure for MS, but guess what? We can reverse all of our symptoms. And there's a way to do it. And we're coming into Minding Your Soul now, kind of blasting through what the medical industry tells us and making sure that you guys know you do have options. You can reverse your symptoms. We just now know that MS is symptoms of the Epstein-Barr virus. So Chrissy, I'm still talking. Your screen is black. Are you here? She's not. That's okay. We will work with this. She's all right. That's okay. She's coming back again. So all of the videos that we do here in Minding Your Soul are also on the YouTube channel. There's a Minding Your Soul YouTube channel. So there's these videos. There's also snippets of the group coaching. We put them on there. You can use all of this information to heal yourself. And that's what Chrissy's coming on to do, reverse all of our symptoms. I don't know who said that, and I don't know if that's a question, but yes, reverse all of our symptoms. I am the founder of this group. My name is Jeanene. And what I did was back in the day, 15 years ago, I said, there's got to be another way. When the doctors told me that there isn't, and just get used to this, this is what MS is, and you're going to eventually be in a wheelchair. I said, eventually. I got wheeled in here today. I can't walk. I can't take care of my kids. I eventually became completely numb in both arms and both my legs. I couldn't use my arms, couldn't use my legs. I couldn't take myself to the bathroom. I couldn't use the toilet paper by myself. And it wasn't until my daughter fell. She was 2 years old at the time. She just turned 18. She fell in front of me. I was left alone with her for only 5 minutes. And of course, she gets up to show me a toy, trips, hits her head, screams. The lump is instantaneous. And I couldn't get to her. So I think I snapped in that moment and went, oh, hell no. There's no way that God put me on this planet and gave me these two beautiful children and then took away my ability to take care of them. There's no way my body is attacking itself. That information always sounded just wrong to me. It sounded like...
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now. Hello.
Now who's having technical difficulties?
I'm kind of glad that I'm not the only one because I feel like everyone on here is used to it being me. So please, welcome. This is my life.
I ended up having to go on my phone, so that's okay.
You know what? The lighting and the clarity is actually better on your phone.
Really?
It is. Yeah, it's a lot clearer.
Oh, good.
Yeah, perfect.
Good.
All right. So, Chrissy, can you start by telling us how, if you remember, how you found Minding Your Soul? How long have you been in the group?
Sure. It was about, I think I found the group, it may have been in 2020 or 2021.
2021. Yeah, that's when I started it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What drew you to it? How did I'm not going to prompt you. Go ahead. And by the way, guys, wait, Chrissy, before you answer that, Chrissy and I made sure that we did not prepare. We talked for maybe 2 minutes before this, and this is the first time we've ever spoken live. So there's not a script here. Nothing's planned. I have no idea what she's going to say. I'm like, you know what? It's going to be more authentic this way. I'll just ask you questions and you answer them. There's no wrong thing to say. So Go ahead, Chrissy. What drew you to the group? Why did you join?
Well, I guess I'll give you a little bio. I have to back up a little bit. So I don't know where to begin, but since high school, I've had something, always had something, dealing with something. So then let's go back to the early 90s. I ended up with drop foot and nobody knew what it was, blah, blah, blah. So forward to 2011, I had a major incident where sorry, my husband's given me the charger.
Don't worry about it.
Like my hair was falling out and I had chronic pain and migraines and vertigo, but still no one really knew what it was. And at that point I had an MRI and they said that they had found lesions. Then they wanted to confirm it. And then a second MRI said I didn't have lesions. So we kind of left it alone. And then 2018, I retired. Law enforcement, 25 years. And then I took a part-time job, and the building had mold in it. So I don't know if that was the trigger, but I started again getting very, very sick. I had chronic sinus infections. That's what started it. Then I ended up getting the flu. And then I remember I started losing my legs. And so then, but I was okay. I had chronic fatigue. I mean, debilitating fatigue. Then it was June of that year, 2019. I caught the parvovirus, which who knew even what that is? After that, within 2 months, I was bedridden. I had more than 50 symptoms. You know, the medical medium always talks about symptoms. Vertigo. I mean, it was so bad I couldn't lift my head. I ended up with trigeminal neuralgia. You could probably call it fibromyalgia. And the list goes on. It was debilitating. I was in so much pain from head to toe. You couldn't touch me. I couldn't stand light, noise, smells. I was in so much, it was an agony, like suicidal agony I was in. And with scrolling, you know, you don't know what to do. I went to every doctor. I went to the University of Penn and saw numerous neurologists, numerous rheumatologists. I had ER visits where everybody just told me it was anxiety and so many doctors. And then, you know, you're scrolling. For that, at that point, Western medicine didn't work for me. I was on numerous medications. They weren't working. If anything, they were hurting me more. So you're scrolling and you're looking, you know, you're doing Dr. Google and you're trying to find everything possible. And then that's when I came across your page. And no, I technically was never diagnosed with MS because I never did go back for the spinal tap. But your group helped me along. And it was wonderful people. I was reading a lot of comments, and it was you, like I said to you, you just were relatable. It was like having a sister in my house. But it was those questions that I needed to answer. What was gluten? Don't get me wrong, the medical medium was great, but those little questions I didn't have. So when I found the medical medium, I remember I would just pray and I'd be like, oh, you know, I need help. And during that searching, that's when the medical medium came in. And I remember I got the very first book and I read it from cover to cover and I healed. But a lot of it was also because of you and your group. So, yeah.
I didn't expect that. I remember laying in bed and you just fucking brought me right back, and you're scrolling and you're please someone help me. And I never found anyone to help me. So I became the person that I was looking for. And then you said, you found me right when I started the group. I was so nervous to start the group. I thought I sucked at everything I said. And just to know that we've never talked before, guys. So I had no idea.
No.
Just know that I feel like I became that person for you, that person that I needed. Because I know I love that you said the suicidal pain, the agony, because suicidal is the greatest way to describe that. It's like, why am I here? I'm a burden to everybody. I'm in pain 24/7. Sleeping doesn't help anything. In fact, it makes it worse. I wish I could just go to sleep and never wake up. And so I think that's why we do what we do, is because that we're not the only ones who are in that situation, and that there's somebody out there going, I need help. This can't be life. This can't be it. Okay. Well, thank you for letting me know that. I'm going to compose myself and ask you more questions. Okay. So when we first started talking a couple of years ago, you were in herbalist school. I remember that. You not only took the information that you found online, but you were your own guinea pig. And you said, all right, I know the body can heal. I've always felt the body can heal. Let me take all of this information, because the Minding Your Soul, the medical medium, isn't the end all be all. It's just evidence that your body can heal. And everyone always needs something different. We're all different. So our missing puzzle pieces are going to be different from person to person. So what attracted you to herbalist school, and how did you get started with that? So many questions. I'm going to ask you one more. And then if you can go through how you healed the symptoms, because a lot of people feel like you just start healing and you just keep feeling better and better. And they don't realize that sometimes you get worse, and then you get a lot better, and then you get a little bit worse, and then you get a little bit better. Can you speak about all of that I just asked you? All 50 questions. Yeah. Please answer all of them. Sorry.
Herbalist school. It was kind of after I found the medical medium. And, it was it just kept popping up, and it was just like the medical medium. This book would just keep popping up. And I said to my husband, I think we need to get this book. And that's what we did. And it really saved my life. And then with that, this herbalist thing just kept popping up. Again, you could have said to me this 10 years ago, and I would have laughed at you. Herbs, plants, weeds, what am I going to do with those? Right? So I went to school, and here I am. I'm an herbalist, and yes.
And you look amazing. There's such a brightness to you.
Thank you.
Take us through the last, my God, years, like where you came from to this, because looking at you right now, looking at the both of us right now, people are like, there's no way. There's no way. Take us from the beginning, those symptoms. I know it's hard to go back there. I'm sorry if you wouldn't mind.
It really is. Sometimes, like I said, I do have my symptoms here. I did write those down, and you can see,
bring it over. Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that list.
Yeah. It's trigeminal, it's neuropathy, it was brain. I had such severe brain fog. I remember depersonalization, standing in the mirror and saying, is that me? Like, I couldn't even connect who I was. I had panic attacks. I could not even leave my house. I could not drive. I was bedridden. I had so much pain that my husband would put me in bed, and I would lay there. And when he got me up the next morning, he would literally have to
bend you
out of bed. It was awful.
It was heartbreaking for both of you.
My hair, all of my hair fell out. When I tell you all of it, I wore a wig.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I was heat intolerant. I could go on and on, and edema. I was just full of water, and But and each day you do the medical medium, you do the celery juice, you do the lemon water. It all helps. Baby steps, like the medical medium says, one step forward, one step back, and that's exactly what it is. But you have to be stern with yourself, and you have to keep trying, but eventually here you are. You heal.
Here you are. Right. And it's hard to go back and really explain the depth of the symptoms, because it's such a trauma. You don't want to ever go back there. When people start the healing journey and they start to feel better, and then they start to feel worse, they go, oh my God, this isn't working. This isn't working. What would you say to them? Because that's the scariest time. Before you feel the shift of, this is working, I can do this, you're going through those baby steps, getting a little bit better, and then a little bit worse, and then a little bit better. And you're questioning the whole time, am I doing the right thing? Am I making myself worse? Because detoxing feels like exacerbations and you don't know the difference in the beginning.
Right.
What do you say to people just starting this journey and they're scared out of their mind of every symptom that they have?
Have faith. It does work. It takes some time. It takes some effort, but it does work. It does. And then finding people like you with the group, with those little things, like I said, what was gluten? Is it okay when I drink the celery juice that I'm going to run to the bathroom right away? Will that end? Does it end? People, yes, it does. That urgency does get lighter. Like, it was those things that was great to have you. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so happy to hear this story. When you're starting to heal and you're realizing that you're going to have to hold yourself. You're going to have to hold your feet to the fire. You're going to have to keep going. Were there times where you wanted to give up and say, you know what? I'm just going to eat the sandwich with the bread, with the gluten. How were you able to go completely gluten-free and change that diet? Because I know a lot of people feel like that's going to be the hardest part, changing their diet. They don't realize that once you do it, it's super easy and it's nothing.
Right.
But that change, like, how did you go through it?
Again, I can only speak for myself. I didn't have a choice. I knew I did not want to live like that. I knew in my heart of hearts, if I didn't do something, I was going to be in a wheelchair. I was going to be bedbound, and probably, honestly, someone else taking care of me, like in a nursing home. I knew that. I didn't have a choice but to do it.
You say that. I love that you said that. Okay, so you say, I didn't have a choice. It was either this or feel like I'm feeling for the rest of my life, and that was not an option. Chrissy, it absolutely was an option. You could have very easily played the victim and said, this is my life.
You're right.
Right?
You're
You
right.
made the hard choice.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're right.
No one said you had to do this. You could have relied on your husband for the rest of your life to take care of you. You could have said, poor me. But instead you went, no, there's got to be another way. I'm not going to live like this. So in your mind, you crossed the point of no return and went, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not living like this. There's got to be something more. And now today, do you have any symptoms left?
I do still have a little nerve pain when the weather changes. I would say I am 98% healed, if not better.
Right.
I remember being tired all the time, chronically tired all the time. I have so much energy now from the time I get up early and I go to bed late. And when I tell you I stand on my legs all day, because you know why? I can.
I love that. I love that. I know that feeling because I can.
Because I can.
You never had this much energy, did you, in your entire life? Middle school, high school. Were you always the sickly one, the sickly kid, always being absent?
Yep.
Right?
Always.
And did you think there must be something wrong with me? I must be a lazy kid. Everyone else feels like going out for sports and all I do is can't wait to get home so I can lay down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. That was me.
Yeah,
with cold, but I had cold sores all the time.
Right. So you wanted to get out of the public eye as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And I bet going through this and learning that every single symptom that we had can be traced back to the viruses in our body, mainly the Epstein-Barr virus in our body, but the pathogens in our body. So did you find that as you were detoxing out the physical pathogens, the viruses, the bacteria, the fungus, did you also find that you went through an emotional detox? All of the emotions were coming out? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's when you know, with Catherine Rose, you introduced me to Catherine Rose, and what a big help that was to know these underlying beliefs that we all have and how you can get rid of them. And that's a big component, mind, body, and soul. So it really all does work together.
And we're not taught this in school. We're not taught
Absolutely
any
not.
of this in school.
Mm-mm.
We're taught about pathogens and viruses, but we have no idea how they can take us down. And until we had something like the internet that brought us all together, we just all thought it was just us. There was something wrong with us. And then all of a sudden we come into these groups and we go, oh my God, I'm not alone. And there's nothing wrong with me. Now, I have found, I say the same thing you do, like 98% healed, but I will still get a symptom that I now use as a red flag, my legs, especially my right leg. When my right leg, and that was the first symptom I ever had, when that begins to tingle, immediately now I go, what's wrong in my life? What am I not paying attention to?
Exactly.
What is stuck in my body?
Exactly.
And that's when I do the work to get that up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like it's that frequency, that vibration, like you said in your recent post, like attracts like, and that's true. Like we were at this frequency. So like everybody will notice now that you think it or you say it. If you're having a crappy day, it just seems like more crappy things happen.
Right. You stumble out of bed and if you don't change your mindset after that happens, the rest of your day is going to be shit.
Exactly.
Right?
It's true. It's true.
And then on the flip side, if you wake up and have amazing sex with your husband and you start the day that way, you're like, everything just happens to fall in place that day. And
Yes.
It's all about that vibration, that energy. And you can change it at any time. So when I use that right leg as a red flag, like, oh, something's wrong, it is because I have learned over the decades that in the beginning, before I was even diagnosed, there was this little voice that kept saying, Jeanene, don't do this. Jeanene, you got to pay attention to yourself. No, Jeanene, you got to speak up. It was such a little voice that I would pack it down. And the more I packed it down, the more I didn't recognize myself. And I wasn't even conscious of this. I wasn't even conscious of how I felt or didn't feel. All I knew back then was this is what I needed to do. I needed to keep working. I needed to, have kids, keep working, put them in daycare, take care of everybody else, and just keep going until my body just broke. And over the years, learning I have to take care of myself first. I have to. And it's not selfish. It's actually selfless, because if I don't take care of myself, then I can't take care of anyone around me. Right. And I have learned that tingling in my foot, it's amazing. The tingling in my foot, I have learned to check in with my body and I would say, okay, what are you feeling? And it's always fear for me. Fear was always my default emotion. Because of that, I never felt like I had any choices. I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg, the no choices or the fear. But do you find, as you went through the healing process of healing your body and also understanding what emotions were trapped in your body, did you find that your intuition, that little voice inside, was getting clearer? I won't want to say louder because it's never loud, but clearer and clearer to the point where you understood, I can't not listen to this voice anymore. That's what got me in trouble in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. And it does. And I think at that point, you just know you're on the right path and what you're doing is working and is going to work for you, is going to heal you. So.
And guys, if you have any questions, even though I can't, thank you. I can't see what name is saying what, but that's okay. If you have questions, just put them on here. I do see Dawn. Perfect. Dawn, what else besides celery juice did you do the heavy metal detox smoothie? Dawn wanted to know.
I did the whole protocol, the lemon water, the celery juice. I still have sometimes a hard time with the detox. Smoothie. I still do it. I don't do it every day. Maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, but I do it. No gluten, no eggs, no dairy, none of the no foods. So, yeah.
Talk about the hard time, because people want to hear that. They don't want to hear that, oh, I did the protocol and all of a sudden I'm healed. Let's talk a little bit more about those. It's not always easy. Like, what does that heavy metal smoothie, how does that make you feel? Because I love that you're like, I can only do it once a week. I know how it makes me feel. I know that it's good for me, but I know what I also have to back off of.
Right.
So
for me, the heavy metal detox, I still get a detox. I still may get a little Herxheimer from it.
Yeah.
And it may last a day or two. So I limit it. I do it, but I don't do it all the time.
Because the detox symptoms feel like exhaustion. Do you get a little like tinglies somewhere?
In my legs.
Oh, there you go. In the legs. All of those metals, they have to move through the body as they get out. And sometimes that is just too much for our body to handle. It likes doing it a little bit at a time.
Right.
So doing the heavy metal detox smoothie once a week, if that's what your body can handle, then you listen to it. That's what you do. You do it once a week. Would you agree that the slower you go on the protocol, the faster you're going to heal? Because if you go too fast on it, you're going to crash and burn. You're going to over detox and overwhelm your body with the dead virus. And you're going to feel like such crap for so long before you feel good again and then want to start again. So would you say that it's an accurate statement that if the slower you go on the protocol, consistency, but slow, the faster you'll heal?
Absolutely. In the beginning, like all of us, we want to heal right away. And I went balls to the wall, and it was too much. You know, I read the book. I went and I got every supplement that was in the book, and I started them all.
Oh, yeah.
And when you do that, I now know, after studying nutrition and herbalism, you can't do that. Not only you don't know what's making you sick,
or what's helping, like what's doing what.
Exactly. So no, I think going slower in this situation, it wins the race.
Yeah. We have to drive that point home, because when you start to heal, like attracts like, Chrissy, we are all of the same personality. We're like, we have found something. We're going to go do it 1,000%. And we're going to be the ones to heal the quickest.
Yeah.
And that's my personality. When I find something, I'm like, I'm going to do it all. And then you crash and burn and you realize, okay, I have to learn balance in my life. Most of us struggle with the balance in our lives, with everything, in relationships, with our body, everything. So driving home the point of, you have to go slow on this and understand what each component of the protocol is doing to your body, good or bad. You have to know. And then you have to learn how to translate what your body is trying to tell you. So when you first started detoxing and getting the crap out of your body, did you find that this feels a lot like an exacerbation? And if I didn't know better, I'd go to the neurologist and say, I'm getting worse.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I remember though, but I do remember just from the celery juice, I remember my very first symptom that was healed was that awful brain fog.
It's the first thing, right? I'm so glad you're confirming this. The brain fog is the first thing to go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But not if you do too much. You have to know your limits. So when the celery juice, that kills the Epstein-Barr on contact. So if you drink too much, too fast, you will overwhelm your bloodstream, even with the dead virus, which is a neurotoxin. And that's going to cause brain fog. So you have to know, what are you putting in your body? Because when you come to me or Chrissy and you say, my brain fog got worse. What do you mean? I thought you said it was going to go away. Then we can explain to you, well, how much did you do? Did you listen to your body? And now we know that this amount of ounces is going to overwhelm your body. So give it a couple of days, come back up to baseline, and then you start again with fewer ounces and then see how you feel. And then the brain fog starts to go. So we did have a question, and I can't see your name, but I'm going to read your question. Chrissy, roughly how long did it take until you were relieved of symptoms? Thanks for sharing your story. So you want to answer first, like overall from start to finish, and then kind of go through the process of, if you remember, like what symptoms fell off.
Yeah, I started in October of 2020 with the medical medium. And I would have to say probably the beginning of last year, so 2023, I was 90% healed. Yeah. Yeah.
You were consistent from the beginning with the diet, though, weren't you? The gluten, the dairy, and the
yes,
eggs.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And now in the beginning, without finding someone like yourself, you don't know what is gluten or what is soy or what is all that stuff without really researching it. So you may get glutenized on something. I remember doing that as well. And you kind of really know when that happens. You do, after being very clean, you know if something has been put in your body that wasn't right.
Yes.
So
do you know I still get 15 years later, 15 years later, I still get, if I eat something, I know it's gluten-free, I have the box right in front of me. So say this is the box, I'm like, all right, gluten-free, but it's a new food, right? Like, let's say it's whatever, something good, like a dessert. I put it in my mouth, and as soon as my tongue feels or tastes something different, it will send a signal directly up to my brain. What did you do? What did you do? You're eating gluten. Oh my God, you're going to get taken down again. That still happens. And I go, whoa, relax. And I have to keep the box next to me. So I gluten-free. Jeanene, look, gluten-free. You're fine. It's good. I still get that anxiety initially because I know what it feels like to accidentally eat gluten. And especially in the beginning, I was taken down for 2 months if I ate gluten.
But you know what? I get like that too. But you know what I say to myself? I know what to do.
Right.
I know what to do to fix it. So there's no fear. And people, that's important that everybody knows that as well. You know what to do. You get right back on track. Your body knows what it needs to do. It wants to heal at all times. So you'll be fine.
And you have your toolbox now. So that's what reduces the fear.
Yeah.
Building that toolbox is on you. Building that toolbox, knowing what works for your body, how often to do it, learning what gluten is and where it hides in our foods. Like soy sauce. I didn't know back in the day that soy sauce had wheat in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so I thought I was gluten-free, which I did feel. I started feeling better immediately. But then as I learned, and I was like, oh, okay, gluten-free soy sauce from now on. And then as I learned, you just get better and better. So would you tell people it's an evolution? Don't expect to wake up tomorrow and go gluten-free. You have to evolve into that.
Yep. Yeah. You sure do. It's knowing all those things. It's, going to the grocery store with a list, but like in the group, hey, what is this certain pasta that you like? Or what is this certain tomato sauce that you use? Did you get a reaction? Did you not get a reaction? What about these supplements? I can't afford this one, but how about this one? Or like I was telling you before, I still can't do lemon balm. But I now know that there's lots of other herbs, probably 25 more, that will do the same thing. So
that you can do, that your body does want.
Exactly. So it's all that other stuff that helps out with the group.
And that's why it's a constant evolution. And that's why you utilize this community. You'll find your tribe, you find your tribe, and you lean on each other.
Yep.
Okay. So I don't know who this is. I'm so sorry, guys. So if you don't put your name, unfortunately, we're using StreamYard, so I don't get to see who's commenting. What drew you to add herbs into your healing? And that's where I want to go towards next. You're in the group. You're trusted within the group. I'd love for you to talk about your business and what services you offer, and also answer the question, what drew you to adding herbs into your healing? And then eventually turn it into a business.
Right. So, like I said, the medical medium fell in my lap. It just kept coming and kept coming. And it was the same thing with the herbs. I went to school for traditional Chinese medicine. And in the beginning, it was just for me. I didn't really do it for anyone else. It was just for me. But it became word of mouth, and I have clients, and You're right.
Look at the smile on your face. And now I have clients. I'm actually helping people because I was telling Chrissy before we actually talked live like this, I was scrolling back because I remember talking to her on the Facebook Messenger years ago. And she said she was in herbalist school. And you know me, all excited. I'm like, oh, would you like to talk to the group? Can we do a live? You're like, not yet. I'm not quite there yet. I'm doing this for me. I still need to learn. So the fact that we're talking years later and you're like, yes, and now I now help other people heal their bodies.
Yeah.
So what does, we're going to plug Chrissy's business right here. So what does working with you look like? How would somebody go to you and say, what would they say? How would they reach you, first of all?
It's called Mystic Rooster Apothecary.
Okay, yeah. Roosters. Now that makes sense because I was going to compliment your wallpaper.
Yeah, there you go, right?
Yep. Mystic Roosters. We're going to post this later.
Mystic Roots, yeah, Apothecary. So basically, it's really no different than what the medical medium does. We're just trying to get to the root cause of the problem. But it's also like what your group says, minding your soul, mind, body, and soul. Yes. So it's the same thing. It's just getting to the root cause. And a lot of it is lifestyle. Yeah.
Now that kind of scares people sometimes when they're like, listen, I really do enjoy my pizza, my pasta, and my ice cream. And I go, yes, so do I. And I would never give it up. I need my pizza. I'm Italian. You don't live without pasta when you're Italian.
Right.
Right. Back in the day, 15 years ago, when I started going gluten-free, or when I was reading that I had to go gluten-free, my first thought was, how will I ever raise my children? If I can't feed them pasta, how will I be a mother?
Yeah.
That's how Italian we are. So what would you say to people? What are your go-to foods? Do you still eat pizza, pasta, ice cream? Like, do you still have your comfort foods, or do you live in misery every day, just gnawing on celery?
I mean, I don't. I mean, listen, I was a junk food person. We ate out all the time. We had pizza, burgers, you name it.
Yep.
We did it. But the way I feel, it doesn't matter. It's just food. And yeah, there all are alternatives. I do pasta. I can do pizza. You can do coconut ice cream. There's so many options today for us. There's really no reason that you don't
do it, right?
Yeah.
If you're not ready to do it, if you're not ready to say, I have no other choice, I can't live like this, then that's okay.
Right.
Like I say to a lot of people, you're a grown-ass woman. You can decide to do whatever it is you want to do with no judgment from anybody else. But if you are ready and you want to do this, there is a way to do it. And there's a way to do it very pleasantly. So that's how you know Chrissy has healed her symptoms, because that's exactly what I said in the beginning. And that's exactly what everybody says when they are healed. They say, I don't care what you tell me, I can't eat. If there was no gluten-free pasta, pizza, ice cream, if you told me that I could never have those foods again, I'd be fine with it, because healed feels so good. I've never felt this way in my life. And I will give me a pill 3 times a day. If you tell me that's going to heal me, then that's what I'll do, because this feels amazing.
Yep.
So
true.
Right now, I know that if it's not already happening right now on the live, then somebody who's going to be watching the recording is going to be the one laying in the bed, not able to get themselves out, not able to take themselves to the bathroom, relying on somebody else for all of their basic needs, feeling like they're a burden, and the tears still come up. I still have some healing to do. And when I talk about this, there's going to be people who are watching this that are going to think, well, you know, Chrissy and Jeanene are just special. There's no way that I could do this. What would you say to them?
Absolutely, you can. You're worth it. God loves you, and you are worth it. You're worth. No, I'm going to cry.
I know, because these are the words that we needed to hear. We needed to hear these words that we are worth it. We can do this. We don't have anything special about us. We're just Chrissy. We're just Jeanene, you know, like, there's nothing that I can say, well, this is what made me do it. No, I was sick of being sick. And I finally found a way that helped.
Yep. And like you said, you not only do it for yourself, and you do it for your family. I didn't want my husband to have a sick wife. I didn't want my parents to see me in a wheelchair. I just didn't.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the wheelchair, I always thought it was I'm going to make us laugh through these tears now. I always thought it was completely traumatic for me to be wheeled around in a wheelchair and for my kids to see me in a wheelchair and to go to Disney World and they were on my lap. And yeah, we did get to the front of the line so they can get on because I was in the wheelchair, which they don't do that anymore, I heard. So I always thought it was a traumatic memory and I never really spoke about it. We're walking in Target. Christopher is 21 now, so he was probably 13, like the real cocky age where boys get into, like they just know everything. We're walking into Target. He's a little bit ahead of me, and he's walking with his little like testosterone walk, and he looks over. You know how they keep the wheelchairs on the side there, right when you walk in Target? He looks over. He's like, "Hey, Ma, look familiar? Remember those?" And he kept walking, and I'm like, "Oh, yo." It took my breath away. Like, you little shit. Yeah, I do remember it. You do too, and it's no big deal to
funny.
them. Yep. No
That's
big deal
funny.
to them. We are the examples that MS is not something that is going to take you down. It doesn't have to. The doctors didn't know what the root cause was. Chrissy works with you, your body, to get down to the root cause, because everyone now knows the body cannot attack itself. Chrissy, did that always stand out to you as just wrong? Like, did your intuition always go?
Oh, absolutely.
From day one, right?
Absolutely. You just know inside. You just know.
I love that.
And I think anybody who really is coming to this group kind of knows.
They might not be conscious of it, but something is drawing them to us. And it's like, this sounds like truth. This sounds good. Right. Maybe if they don't use the word truth, like, this sounds right.
Yeah.
What is it about this information that I'm being drawn to? Because honestly, it sounds crazy, well, because the medical medium, and I love him and there's no hate or anything, but he sounds insane, like he's talking to the spirit of compassion who's giving them all this information. And, sometimes he gets real negative on his lives and he starts complaining about, the government. And I'm like, all right, Anthony, you've gone too far. Like, can you please just get back on track here?
Right.
I was actually thinking about doing a segment called I Listen to the Medical Medium, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to insult him in any way because he's done so much
exactly.
good work. Yeah.
Exactly.
Someone said, what were you doing as far as meals and exercises to keep you going?
Good. Well, I'll back up a little bit. So in the beginning, I was an avid person who worked out hard. I was in the gym almost every day, or did something almost every day, because I was in law enforcement and I had to train and I had to keep up with the boys, So for me to lose my legs and not be able to work, it's devastating. It's devastating. So, but I am back to working out. Maybe not as hard.
No, we got older and wiser. Yeah. You don't have to work out that hard anymore.
And then during all this, I must add, just in case there's any women of this age, I had gone through menopause through all of it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. But I have to say, when you're clean and your body's clean, no hot flashes.
No, right? No.
No.
You don't look old enough to be going through menopause.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay. That's another testament to how healthy she is, because you don't look old. You said you've gone through it. Like, you're through it. It's done.
I'm through it. Yep.
Wow. Really?
55.
We didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't want to ask, but I really wanted to know. And I know other people do too. 55. Mm-hmm. Guys, we're not going to do that. But I was just.
And that's another thing.
I would have said 42.
Oh, God bless you.
Jeez. Yeah. No, that's not a compliment. It's a fact. You look like you're 42.
Oh, thank you. But I used to have such bad acne and cystic acne. I'm telling you, since that celery juice, not a pimple.
Not a pimple.
Nope.
I remember I didn't ever want to put the lights on. because I didn't want him to see my skin. I never wanted to put the lights on.
Right.
It's amazing how life changes. And now we're doing it in the sunlight because I can. I love that. All of these things that you think you just have to live with, you don't. There's a way out of the darkness. Whatever darkness you're in, there is a way out. So Chrissy wrote this down, Mystic Roosters Apothecary. So do you have a website where we can send people to you?
I do. I just have a little Facebook page. You can email me if you like at mysticroosterapothecary@yahoo.com, and I'll get back to you. Like I said, I'm more busier. I don't need, honestly, it's really word of mouth. And it's surprising how many people are sick.
It is surprising. And I love that you just said, listen, she didn't want to plug. Listen, guys, I'm talking to the audience now. So Chrissy, I'm just going to talk about you like you're not here right now for a second. She didn't want to plug her business. She didn't want to talk about her business. She just wanted to talk to people about her symptoms. And I said, you are a trusted source, a trusted person in this group. So why not, if you have something to offer and if you have the time to help somebody and you can build your business and make some money helping somebody else, yeah. Why wouldn't you tell people about what you're doing? Right. There is going to be, and I had to struggle with this, starting a business, helping other people, because I never wanted to charge money for it. Because when I was a single parent and sick and looking to heal, everyone wanted 10, 15, 20 grand and my firstborn as payment for any information that they would give me. And so I couldn't have anything. And this was years before the medical medium even came back out with his first book. So I always thought, laying there in bed, I thought, I'm going to heal. I am going to help people, and I'm not going to charge them their firstborn for it. And then you learn, listen, some people have a ton of money, some people have a little money, and some people have no money. And I do want to cater to everybody. So that's why we do these interviews. The information is out there. Chrissy utilized all of the information that was from the medical medium, that was from Minding Your Soul. She did it. She didn't have to pay tens of thousands of dollars because the information is all there. If you want some support, if you have some cash and you're like, you know what, I could use some support and some guidance, let me reach out to Chrissy. Let me reach out to Jeanene. Yes, of course we offer our help and we do charge for it, but we're also going to give all the free stuff too. And we're going to support you. And everything that we do for ourselves is now what we do for other people, because we've realized that we needed all of this when we were sick and nobody was around. Nobody was around to help us when we were sick. And now we've got this beautiful community. And once you heal, Chrissy, am I right? Once you heal, you can't shut up about it.
That's right. You want to tell everybody, because it's such a wonderful place and you just want everyone to feel good. You want everybody to feel like you do. And it just like the veil has been lifted off your eyes. It's just amazing. It's amazing how good you can truly feel. And it's amazing that nobody ever tells you this stuff.
No, because we don't realize how good we could feel because we never felt that good. So we're thinking This is normal, especially growing up in school. No one's talking about how tired they are because, some are, some aren't. And now that we know what's on the other side of healing, now we're like, you have to do this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Were you ever the weird person? I was the weird person when I first started healing. Like everyone would be like, oh, I have a headache, in line at whatever, the coffee shop. And I'd be like, oh, I can help you. I used to get headaches, right? Yeah. And then I kind of calm down a little bit and I wait for them to ask questions.
Right. You're right. Now because I was like that, because in the beginning, just get this book, just read it, blah, blah, blah. But I know now everybody is on a journey and, when they're ready, they're ready. So everybody's at a different spot along their journey.
Right. And then you meet people where they are. You just meet people where they are.
Exactly.
Right. Chrissy, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you.
Everyone here is so grateful that you're sharing this story and building that library of evidence. That's so funny. You disappeared for a second.
I know.
You're like, oh, thank you. Goodbye. And I was like, oh, okay. So I know everyone here is so grateful for this, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the recording. If you comment and you have any questions, we still get the notifications, so we can still answer your questions. And Chrissy, would you mind posting? I wrote it down, but I don't want to get it wrong. Would you mind posting when we get off of this or at some
Sure.
point after this
Sure.
in the comments, your website,
Absolutely.
how people can reach you? Because I know they're going to have a lot of questions and want to talk to you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. It was so great to meet you. We'll do it again in a couple months with another update.
Yes. And see you, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.